Ja.
Hailey dink ek ge-Uber. Nee, Hailey het die kar gevat, toe gaan drink ek en jy gou 'n vinnige bier, maar ek like springbok.
Ja, is lekker maar.
Okay,
Alright.
kom ons begin.
Okay. Good day South Africa, good day South Africa, the belongs of Africa. Welcome for the last time to the DissectWithLem podcast. This will be a post-Survivor finale recap, giving you all the goodies and the finale and the competition and all kit and caboodle of fun stuff to discuss. But with me in the podcast for the last time, not the last time, but Hannes, how are you, my man?
Good evening, Lem. Things are well on my side. How's things going there on your side?
Dude, I am spectacular. I had one of the best weeks of my life in Cape Town, but we'll discuss more of that later. And I'm going to Cape Town again tomorrow for a wedding. So, yeah, burning on my leaf, but glad to do so. Hannes, a lot of stuff to get. Can you believe before we begin that it is the last one? This is now episode 16. We've done 16 of these podcasts, including a cast assessment. So it's quite some screen time.
It feels almost unreal, you know. Also now sat here looking at some of the notes I made. It feels unreal. I think we had a good run. We had a good journey. So yeah, let's kick us off. Let's get the last one rolling.
Yeah, let's get the last one rolling. You said it well. Hannes, the last episode, we saw it live on national TV. We started it off with the final three: Tom, John, and Annelies. And we had that final challenge that John had to do the left-right hand coordination thing with one hand tied behind her back. And we ultimately see John winning this challenge and she having to make the second last big decision of a game. Who does she want to sit next to?
So, yes, well done to Jean on winning that challenge. We've discussed it on a previous podcast 2 weeks ago. Jean never really featured in challenges, but when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. The two most important challenges she won. So congrats to her for that. Then she voted out Annelies. I definitely think it was the right decision. Annelies was very popular with the jury. Annelies played, for the best part, a very clean game, and she made it till the final three. Tom weren't as popular with the jury. Tom had a lot of rough moments in the game itself. I think it was a perfect decision to get rid of Annelies. What's your take on it, Lem?
Yeah, definitely. I think Annelies, like you said, she was popular. She had that whole mom provider thing, and we actually discussed this in our very first podcast, how deep a person like Annelies can go with the nurturing skills, being a mom and a chef, and you know, like you said, they were popular with the jury, and I think, yeah, John definitely made the right decision. I think Annelies cleaned the floor. So, yeah, she goes on to decide she wants to sit next to Tom, roll the dice one last time next to the big guy, and she has a final decision to make. It's one of those, I think we've seen it once before, where they vote somebody out and they just go straight to the jury. Obviously, Annelies knew what that was about, and then she can send one of those bad boys out of the park, home packing with the bags, and she controversially decides to go with Werner. Your take on this move?
It's very difficult to say, you know. We didn't know what Werner was thinking at that time. We didn't know what any other juror was really thinking at that time, to which side they would have been lending or might have been lending. I think Jean maybe thought that, okay, because she and Tom and Annelies actually took Werner out, maybe Werner was a bit hostile or could have potentially been hostile towards them sitting on the jury, voting him out. There's really not a lot to say for me personally about that, because we don't know what the person sitting on the jury were really thinking. So any speculation from our side would be merely guessing. Do you agree with me?
I agree with you. And one thing I want to point out, there's a lot of criticism on Twitter, and I think one thing we just need to put into perspective, the tribal council we see is usually about, you know, between, I don't know, 7 or 15 minutes, I must take a guess, of the show, where those guys actually sit there for 2 or 3 hours discussing things. So the jury see a lot of stuff. So we don't know what they see or what they don't see. But we heard actually Werner afterwards saying he think John made a mistake. He wouldn't necessarily not have voted for her. I think, you know, she and Werner has been tied from, you know, the Vertoner Alliance, and, you know, John being the third party to that, the third wheel to that venture. But yeah, we don't know, but eventually Werner saying she made a mistake, and you know, probably could have cost her. We will never know. Then we get to a point where John actually has to make this, or both of them have to make their speeches. You know, there's the back and forth. As the thing goes on, we see John's game deteriorating slightly. You know, she get that all, you know, was doing nothing a move, and Tom with a spectacular speech about him being anti-poaching unit, and how much that meant for him to be here, and how we spoke about this on the podcast as well. How he learned to play the game as time progressed.
Yes.
And finally, we see John, the last roll of a dice, going for the lucky strat, and the dice not falling in her favor.
Look, I think that was the beginning of the end, for so to speak. We've discussed it on the podcast. You need to control yourself. You need to control the game. Yes, luck does play a role, but in order to get to day 59, I think it was, you need to be a good strategic player. That is the important thing. And Jean have not really been a good strategic player. Whereas Tom, yes, he started out, let's say, a bit rough around the edges. He grew a lot, so to speak, developed as a player. And Tom said, listen, yeah, I am a champion. I mean, I've been in the firing line from day one. Yeah, I am the best. And I really also like that approach. It's always so important to back yourself, because if you don't back yourself, nobody will ever back you. Really,
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
basics. It's life 101.
I agree with you. And we see ultimately it being a 1-6 with Vuzi, the only one voting for John. Were you surprised at it being a breadstick, a 1-6 in the end, or would you have suspected it to be closer watching the show?
I like your tennis terminology there. Breadstick, or if it was 6 love, then it would have been a bagel. But
how wise are we?
yes, I must say, if this law thing and your engineering thing don't work out, we can always be tennis commentators. If the Survivor thing also doesn't work out, so important. I expected it actually to be 7-0. I'm surprised that Fuzi voted for Jean. Like I said, Jean did not, for me, play the best game. She was, for the most of the game, more in the background. Maybe a good middle of the pack strategy behind Werner. The rest of the jury, everybody, even the people with whom he had many differences and disagreements with.
Yeah, think of someone like Shanae Palesa, exactly.
Going for him. I think it's great. It's a true testament to a true champion.
Yes, definitely. Well, Tom, yes, we see him on national TV, being a millionaire. Well, I mean, what can you say? I mean, you wake up one day being a zero layer, and the next moment you're a millionaire. That's quite spectacular.
That's not so sharp.
No, we'll get the better jokes next podcast.
Okay, go. Let's go on.
And then we see Werner actually not a millionaire, but now he's a Mahindra-naire, winning his fan favorite, getting a new vehicle in the mix.
Yes, so Werner winning the fan favorite. I think many people expected that Werner was a likable player.
Yeah,
I think maybe when it came to top 6, top 5, maybe people started, well, that was what I started to do, to root for Tom or maybe for another underdog, because Werner was such a dominant player, but generally he was strong. He was a likable guy. We've discussed him on the podcast. So, very well done.
Yeah,
enjoy the car.
Yeah, definitely. Werner, what a guy, such a humbling man. And I think, like we said this numerous times, such a force to be reckoned with. And I think not grabbing a car might not financially be as well as $1 million, and it might not be the title of Sole Survivor, but I think definitely a good second runner-up prize if you have to choose something.
It does make it worthwhile, yes.
Yeah, it does make it worthwhile. What do we have to discuss next? I forget my script notes. Next up, the show.
Survivor 7.
No,
the show. Sorry, you've been at the show. Tell us about how was that.
We didn't even touch on that.
Give us a bit of a background. How was it there?
I must say, it was quite a fun event. Fun is a very, very weak word to describe what it was. I don't want to say spectacular, but it was extreme. It was out of this world. It was really cool. It was really nice being in the audience, sharing it. At this moment where somebody would fall out of a challenge and everybody would go ooh, or somebody would do something and everybody would start clapping. It was quite an amazing event. Being part of that live environment, quite energetic, vibrant. Lots of fun with the people. Afterwards, we had beers and chat with a lot of people. We also got these buffs. You can see I'm wearing this one just for show. It's actual a raw buff. Where in a podcast for show we gave one away. You and I both got one courtesy of LaRue. Actually, I think we should just take a moment to thank him. That guy went, we were just some, two bozos making podcasts about Survivor, and he actually, said, hey guys, come watch the show. So, quite nice for him to actually contact us.
Definitely, it was nice. Lem, I'm glad you enjoyed Cape Town. Unfortunately, I could not make it. But but it sounds as if you had a great time there. And it's always nice, you see the people on television. We've discussed it. You almost, to a certain extent, you bond with the people, although you don't know them personally, but you learn to love them, like looking at Tom, how he almost say grew throughout the game, looking at PK, my favorite player, looking at Katinka, and then it's nice to be there discussing things with them. Oh, I like this move. I think it was great. And LaRue, thanks for the tickets.
Yeah, and another thing that also cool, you spoke about it now, but we had a lot of interaction, especially through the podcast with his players, and we actually had a chat with a lot of his players. I'm going to mention all of them, but yeah, those of us who sat down and had a beer and drank and took photographs, it was quite fun. And like Hannes always say, if you guys are in Pretoria, hit us up, we'll grab a beer anytime. So yeah, massive thanks to LaRue and Niku and those guys. We really appreciated it. We'll definitely see you next year, which brings us to the next part. Hannes, Survivor Secret Island of... Not Survivor Secret. Island of Secrets, season 7, the big reveal at the end of this episode. Are you excited for this new season? And what's your advice to people who want to apply?
So, firstly, of course, I'm excited. The entries I've read on the news closes on the 30th of September, I think. So, basically, you still have 5 weeks left. Definitely enter. And this is a thing, in life you can make it a lot further than you think if you just have the confidence to back yourself. Let's look at Tom now. A year ago he was, let's say, a normal guy. Now he has the title of Sole Survivor. He's a millionaire. You know why? You need to back yourself. And that's the other thing. You can only grow in life once you go outside your comfort zone. You might think, or many people have so many limiting beliefs. I can't do this or I can't do that. Bullshit. Always believe in yourself, always back yourself. So I would advise anyone to enter.
Yes. Anybody except people who have diabetes can enter. So that's the remaining 99.9% of the population. Honest, you excluded.
It's fine. I'll work on my beard and my moustache whilst the other people are on Survivor at some island. That's fine.
Yeah, and I think to Hannes' point, a lot of these people, I think if you look at somebody like, thinking about Tony and Tom, you can see both of his application videos, I think, are still on YouTube. They were just like regular people doing regular jobs, whatever. Rolling the dice, saying, I'm going to be on that show, just making a video, and now they're on the show. So definitely apply. These guys need cool people, exciting people. So if you think you have what it takes, do not hesitate to send in a video. Just be funny, be goofy, be cool, be full of anything that can put you on TV. That's also always the advice that the CBS casting team gave the people. Those are the people in the States. So
yes,
yeah.
Can I just add something?
You may go.
Don't make a video sitting talking about yourself, saying yes, I'm adventurous, yes, I'm fun. I mean, it's really lame. If they want to cast you, they want to see you do cool things. They want to see you do fun things. Don't say you're adventurous. Show them a video of how you're skydiving, for example. Or if you say you like being active and outdoors, show them a video or where you run a trail run with beautiful scenery, whatever. Yeah. Just something. If you sit on the couch and say, hey, I'm a right guy, have some personal problems, they're not going to cast you. Be fun, be creative. That would be my advice.
Yeah, definitely. I think the whole concept is show, don't tell. Don't say you are whatever smart. Show them you're smart. Don't say you are goofy. Show them you're goofy. Whatever. Yeah. So definitely, guys, get those videos out. And now we get to the drum roll, the big one, the competition. Honest, we had the competition. We excluded some of the people from this list. I'm going to put it up now. It's going to be on the screen. Ek hoop is nie 'n speelbeeld nie. Wat speelbeeld in Engels? Inverted. I don't know. Mirror image. Well, that's
inverted. Yeah, mirror image.
So we had a big total of 8 entries. So I'm glad you guys didn't tell anybody about this podcast. So the less people know about it, the better. Okay, here's the random number generator. Can you guys see it? You can see it on the left. On the left, so 8 guys. I'm gonna press the button once. The number it is, that's the person it's gonna be. So we're doing this real time. Okay. Hannes, you wanna do a drum roll or can I just click?
You can just click.
Okay, I'll just click and click. It is number 6, Lisa Gwisson. Lisa, congratulations, you get this. I'm gonna bring it back on the screen.
I have one here as well. Show me. Am I on the screen?
You're on the screen.
Lisa, you win this. Congrats. What did Lisa say?
This is I'm gonna show mine. This is the one Lisa will win. That's Honest's. I wouldn't touch something that Honest touch. It's a
It's
legit
the
the
same
raw.
thing.
It's a legit the
It's
raw
the
buff.
same buff at least.
It's the same buff. You got turtle buff. It says custom edition. Like you can't buy this at like some Cape Union Mart or some Trapper Trading. These guys, they are one of a kind. So Lisa, congratulations, and thanks LaRue for giving us these guys to hand out. We influenced a whole bunch of 8 people to get them all watching your show. So definitely the market capitalization you were asking for, we delivered. Yeah, Lisa, I will get it to you. I don't know how. Probably post it or come grab
Maybe
a
she
beer with
should
us.
contact us via social media and then we can post it to her.
Yeah, it's fine. You contact Hannes. He will. Hannes is in charge of administration. You contact
Logistics.
him, and he will make sure you get it.
See, this is the thing. I must do all the thinking around here, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, Lem, the next one.
Yeah,
We
the
have a
fu-
new podcast planned.
I,
Would you
I,
like
want
to?
I want to do the dramatic entrance, guys, is the invite or not. But you just say we have a new podcast, so just go ahead. Tell the people what are we going to clowning around until the next season of Survivor.
Okay, so due to extremely popular demand, I think we now already have 75 subscribers. Which again, at the beginning we had 0. So
we were
what me and Lem
we were zero linears, and now we are 65 linears. Someday we'll
Yeah.
be millionaires.
So what we're going to do is basically we're going to do, and we're still looking for a name for it. If you have a good name idea, please hit us up on social media and tell it to us. We want to do a bar guide of this country. So me and Lem, we've had the privilege to travel to many parts of this country and visiting many beautiful places and also bars. So we're going to discuss what makes a bar good, what makes a bar bad. If you want to have a good time, where do you go? If you want to dance, where do you go? So we're also going to do interesting things on the show, like a few post-mortems, aka Drop Zone, which
Yeah,
was
Drop
in
Zone,
Hatfield
we're gonna do
Square,
a-
many divorces, or Drop Zone is the result of many divorces, but also a few happily marriages. Some of the cool places we've been, Hartbeespoort, we've been in Cape Town, Bloemfontein. So we're basically doing a roundup of many of the cool bars we were, and basically discussing that. Lem, you want to add something?
Yes, I think honestly, you've pretty much ticked every single box in that thing. So we must actually learn to spread it out a bit. But Honest is right, guys. We are gonna. Some of you said you don't even watch Survivor, you just want to watch the podcast because you like us guys clowning around for 20 minutes. So we're gonna keep doing that. We're not gonna do it every week, every second
Yes.
week. So we'll have a bi-weekly podcast. It won't necessarily always be a bar in the sense. It might be a venue or a pub or interesting. Maybe like I think. Drop Zone wasn't really a bar, it was more like a rave joint, but whatever. So every week we'll choose one place, we'll give some facts, maybe share some funny stories we have of the joint, give you a lowdown if you're ever in the area. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to it. If you have...
And something else, sorry, Lem.
Yes, yeah, no, go, man.
If you want us to do a review of your bar, please hit us up on social media. We'll gladly come over for a few beers, chat with the people. It's always nice getting to know people on the ground level, so to speak. And we'd gladly do a review for your bar.
Yeah, so we're like Survivor, but it's like, hey, buy us travesties, you guys want some marketing, hit us up. Exactly the same thing. Annenberg people, if you want to have 65 people watch a podcast about your bar, you contact us, you buy us a beer and a pub lunch, and we're there. Honest, is that it? Is this really the end of 15 weeks of weekly chatting?
16, plus the cost assessment was 17.
Okay, 17 weeks of making small talk and talking a lot of cock. Yeah, it's the end of the road. I won't say I'm emotional, but it's been quite an era. Quite some fun things we had to go through.
I believe we had a good one. It was a great show, looking back. Although me and you had a few differences one or two of the evenings, but generally it was quite smooth sailing. I think we had a good one. I'm really looking forward to shooting the next podcast, not only the bar one, but also the next Survivor podcast.
Yeah.
It was a great one, really. I think, again, compliments to the production. It was a series of the highest magnitude. You had our viewers sitting at home. You had us nailed in front of those TVs every Thursday at 7 o'clock. It was really great stuff. Lem, it was nice doing this podcast with you. It was
Honest,
an honor and a
quickly,
privilege.
I just want to ask you, before we tie a bow on this bad boy, any moment of the season that really stood out for you? Any big, spectacular moments that you sorry something happened or glad something happened, we should might have played out differently? We still got a couple of minutes. Any big moments?
I think for me, one of the biggest things, we have discussed it, and I'm going to say it again. I was sad to see Neil leave so early. We've discussed it on the cast assessment and also on the show. Big physical player, older, brings life experience, brings leadership. How Ace in that moment did not decide to move his vote after seeing that Palesa did not have an idol it baffles my mind, really. I think that was I won't say game changer, but it would have been interesting to see Neil on the, post-merge stage, who's a strong individual, strong character with someone like Werner, even maybe throwing Devon there. So that was for me something which was,
Yeah.
it put a bit of a damper on it, so to speak.
I think production was robbed of a big star. Yeah, I think also, like you say, it definitely would have changed the trajectory of the season had Neil been there. Like you said, for all the above reasons. One thing I want to point out. Anybody who, from what we discussed pre-season, because this is a bit of a loaded question, I got an answer ready, but anybody of the pre-season who we had an opinion on, who over the course of these 16 weeks surprised you in the way they play the game?
Well, looking back at our cast assessment, we said that Jean wouldn't make it very far. I think
I said Jean's gonna be the first one out.
Yes, so Jean making it top 2, that was quite a surprise. Personally, I did not expect Annelies to make it that far. Again, she was in the Luzon tribe. We didn't really do an official obituary for her, but thinking of Annelies, I did not see her going that far. Being in the Luzon tribe, having to play a scramble game at least for the first 10 days, and never really being safe, so to speak, scrambling the whole time. She done very, very well, beyond expectations. One thing which I was not happy with this series is the people quitting. There's no time for quitters in life. I'm just going to say this.
If you quit the game, don't rock up at Anna's house. Yeah, I think I expected Annelies to go far, and I said this. Another person also impressed me was Katinka. I know a lot of people, when they just released the team of the cast, they said this 19-year-old girl clowning around on YouTube, she's going to be one of the first people to get out. She made what? Top 5, top 6, so she actually also made it deep in the game.
Yes, Katinka is really someone who surprised me. And again, I think Katinka was very good in the challenges, but I coined it the classic middle of the pack strategy, and I think she played that fairly well. And for her to make, I think it was top 5, if I'm correct, is very good. And I think maybe in a few years, if they cast her again with the more experience and the maybe bit bigger background, I think she might even go further.
Yeah, no, definitely. And that's one final thing I want to say is I think we just want to add to what you said previously. I think production did a stunning job. We had Blindside, we had Rockdor, we had Idols, and all of this can't happen. You as a production team, you need to get that formula right, and then shake it and hope that you create a cool Frankenstein. And those guys, Leroux, Nico as a host, all these people, they were spectacular. I remember. Sorry, just one last thing before I remember at the finale. Like when it was all said and done, and they did the thing and it was end, and boom, lights off, and everybody was free to go. It was like this camaraderie among the crew, the cameraman, the production. You can see these guys were like, yeah, we did it. And I think those guys can be really proud. In that moment, I hope they feed on that energy to make a new good season, because if this was a new company doing it and it's only round 1 and they do it every year, these guys, they got a good deal going for them.
Definitely. And the thing is, people don't realize the hard work that goes into a production like this. From the get-go, it's hard work. But again, anything in life which is worthwhile is hard work. So yes, compliments to them. Lem, I think that's about wraps it up.
Yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching the podcast. Honest, for the last time, if somebody want to hit you up on social media, where can they get all of you?
So I'm on 2 platforms. Twitter, as you know by now, I'm at JHLerm, LERM. And then on Instagram, I've had 5 posts already now.
Dude, I'm so proud of you.
Now it only takes me 5 minutes. Yes, I'm making
so
progress.
Great, man.
But on Instagram, you can hit me up, die lekker ou wat draf en bier drink. Not to be confused with die lekker ou wat bier drink en draf nie. First the running and then the beer, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Guys, if you want to follow me, you can get me on Twitter at _Lem. And on Instagram, we've got a DissectWithLem profile. Subscribe to this channel, and then we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. So it's not bye-bye for always, just bye-bye for the next 2 weeks. We'll see you when we do our bar guide, weekly bar podcast.
We'll think of a name.
Guys, thank you so much for the last time. Take care and bye-bye.